Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Sheryl, and I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 69. I've been away for a while. I've had some shoulder surgery, and I'm recovering from that, and I'm so happy to be back in my craft room sharing with you today, whether you're watching live or if you watch the replay. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. So I've got some Lisa Horton products here that I'm going to share. She has a new set of inks that have come out since the last time I went live. These are her color shift inks, and these inks change colors like her interference inks do, but they have a matte finish, so they're really, really nice. So if you're unfamiliar with Lisa's color changing inks, if you put the ink on white card, it's going to be the color on the top. And if you put it on dark card, it's going to be the color on the bottom. So that's how those work. And for today's card, we've got Summer Sky, Golden Heather, Lilac Meadow, and Avocado Gold. So since I'm using white card, we're going to have the purples and the greens, and they have a really nice mica in there, and I'll show you that as we move along. So those are the inks that we're going to be using. And then for the dyes, we have her all year round blooms are the one of the dyes that we're going to be using. And I think, let's see, which flower did I end up using? It was this flower. So I die cut already this flower, and then I'm going to be using the nested rectangle dies for our project. Also, her year in bloom 3D embossing folder. This is the there's 12 embossing folders in this set, one for each month. And so I'm going to be using the August Dahlia. That's this one for today's project. And I'll go ahead and set this off to the side. And then I'm going to be using from her new spring Spellbinders release, I'm going to be using these sentiments. And so I've cut those out already, and I will show you those in a second here. So those are all the products that we're going to be using today, all Lisa Horton Craft products. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move the inks over here. And here is the card that I made using these products. And I don't know if you can see, and you can see a little bit of that shimmer when I turn the card, but it has a beautiful shimmer on that ink. It's got some kind of goldy toned mica in the inks that I chose. And so this card is really very, very pretty, has a beautiful, nice shine. And that is the card that we're going to make for today. So to get started, I'm going to make the background that we're going to emboss. And to do that, I'm just going to put some of the ink down onto my glass mat here. I've got again, the Golden Heather, and this is the avocado gold. It's really inky on that side, so I'm going to turn it, get it really inky over here too. Avocado Gold, and then we've got the Lilac Meadow, which is a little darker than the Golden Heather. Just put that on there, and then the Summer Sky, and this is a nice light bright green color, and I'm just gonna ink it up on my mat, and then I'm going to just spritz that with some water. Get lots of water on there and help some of that ink move around a little bit. And then I'll just take, this is an A2 size card. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here, and I'm just going to tap it into the ink and get it nice and inked up. And I think that'll do it. This is, you can already see some of the mica starting to come to the top, but as it dries, it'll get more of that mica. And so I think I'm going to be good with this as it is. And so I'm just going to let this dry. I'm going to set this off to the side. And I've already done, let me put that over there so it can dry. And then I've already done a piece. So I'm just going to wipe this up. Well, maybe I can show you on dark card with what's left a little bit of how that color shows up differently. It'll have to dry first. So I'll just mop some of this up with this dark card and maybe we'll be able to show you. Now, I don't know if there's enough ink on there to dry, but we'll let it dry and see what happens. And then I'm going to wipe up the rest of this. Get that all cleaned off. And we are done with the inks. So I'm going to just move those out of the way. And then I have a piece that I've already inked up and let dry. And you can see all that goldy shimmer on there, which is really, really pretty. And then I'll take the embossing folder and I'll just emboss it because this is going to be our background piece. So we'll just emboss it like that. Doesn't really matter how you put it in there. And then I'll run this through my embossing folder. Through my embossing machine. You can tell I've been away for a while. But I've got my embossing sandwich in there, and I'm just going to run it through. And here we go. We've got our piece already embossed, and you can see that's nice deep embossing on that. And it's got that nice shimmer. You can see how deep it is on the back. It gives you an idea of how deep it is. And so that is our front. And then I've done some of the work already. Let me bring in my other products to show you the work that I've done ahead of time. So we've got that. And then for the frame, I used the nesting dies, these nesting dies, and I used the largest and I used the third largest. So 1 from the top and 3 from the top to, and I just die cut those together to create my frame. And then for the flower, I used this all year round blooms, and I die cut out of white cardstock the pieces for the flower and the center. There. And then for my sentiments, I use these sentiments. It's all, the stamp is all one block. And then it die cuts all the sentiments together in one. And then I used 2 of the shadow dies. And I cut out warm wishes. I use the warm wishes, and what do I have here? To you on your special day. So those are the sentiment stamps and dies that I use for this project. And then I have my A2 card base. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and put my, I'm going to put my background piece onto my card base, and I'm going to use glue for that. And just run that around the edges as close as I can get to the edge without it going over. And a lot of times will use tape runner, but glue, I think, works just a wee bit better when you've got a lot of dimension on the back of your card. But all of them work, whatever is your preference. Try and get some everywhere that I can. And then I'm going to put this onto my card base. Just line that up. I got quite a bit of glue on my fingers there. And line that up with my card base. And then I'll get my bone folder and just burnish that some. Oops. I pulled it right off of there. Here we go. Let's do that again. I didn't intend to pull the front of the card. I was trying to pull the card center. So we'll put that back on there. Try and push it up so that it's even there. And then we'll burnish. Okay, so we've got our card front, and then we'll take our frame that we made, and I'm going to give this a little bit of dimension with some foam strips so that it's not laying flat onto my card. And these are just some foam strips. I like these that I got them off of Amazon. And I like them because they're thin, and these are great for doing shaker cards because the strips are so thin. You don't have to do a lot of cutting with them. So that makes it nice. And I'll just put these all around. I'm using 2 strips of these as I go around. And we'll just keep doing that until we get all the way around. And then we'll fill in our gaps as we need to. Oh boy, I think I just cut my frame, and I did. But we're going to use that. Try and use this tape to keep it together. Okay. Well, we got a nice cut there. So I'm going to change where I put my flower because of that cut. I did not intend to do that, obviously. But you can almost always recover from a mistake. And if you can't recover, you can always do it again. That's the beauty of working with paper. You can just start over if you need to. But I won't have to for this one because we'll just change it up a little. I'm getting a couple more strips off of here. And put that down there. And we will not cut the card, the card stock there. And let me see. I think I want to try and put at least one little piece here in this corner. Just a little bit. And I'm going to have to trim that a teeny bit. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this. I want to put this up here because I'm going to put the flower in this corner, in the right corner instead of the left corner to cover up my little boo-boo there. And I'll take these little strips off the back. That's usually the hardest part in doing this, is getting these little pieces off. When you have big hands like I do, it's not the easiest, but we'll get it done. So I hope you've had a good week. Happy Juneteenth for anybody that celebrates. Today is June 19th, 2025. And I've enjoyed my day, been in my craft room most of the day. Had a lot of stuff to put away. I did do a few I did a video this week for Lisa Horton, and I needed to put that stuff away. And I'm working my way back to normal, so I should be back to my regular schedule. I'll do my lives on Thursday evening and my blog post on Wednesdays. So I'll have a blog for next week, and I'll be back here live next Thursday. So if you're watching this later on, and if you would like and subscribe to my channel so you know when I'm going live, I'd love to have you here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Oops, excuse me, my card front. I'm going to stand up so I can see straight. And try not to. That's pretty good. So I'm going to put my flower in that corner. But before we do the flower, I'm going to ink up the center with a little bit of the Lilac Meadow. So I'm going to bring this in and just add a wee bit of color to the flower center with my brush here. I have a little more ink on my brush than I intended, but that's okay. We'll just move the ink out further. And it'll lighten up a wee bit as it dries, which is nice. So I'm going about a little more than halfway up these petals. And just getting some color on there because we don't want it completely white. I don't know why I say we. Me and the mouse in my pocket. All right. So we'll just do it like that. And I think that's pretty good. And then we'll do this one the same way. And just move that color out some. And if you wanted, you could go around the edges with the purple, but we're just going to leave that as it is. And let's see, how did you can kind of see the green, a little hint of the green, but if we had a solid color, well, let me ink this with just my, and then when this dries, you'll see that it's going on lilac, but it's going to, you're going to see that greeny color pop up as this dries. So I'll sit that over there. And I think those color changing inks, the interference inks and the color shift inks are really nice. The one thing about the color shift inks, they blend really well, better than the interference inks. You can blend the interference inks, but you get, I think, a nicer blend with the color shift inks than you do these. So we'll go ahead and put this down. And I do want to ask, if you watch the video and you like it, please give me a thumbs up. That helps me be seen and have other people watch it. I'd appreciate that a lot. And so we're just using our fingers to brush this up a bit. And then we'll go ahead and put a little bit of foam tape on this part of the flower, and then we'll just glue this other part down. So let me find my strip. I'll just take a piece. We'll try and get a little piece of the foam tape off there, and we'll just put a little bit down on a couple of these strips. Don't need a lot. A couple of these petals. We'll put those down, and then the rest we'll glue onto the card. So let's see. Yeah, I think we're good with just the two. And then we'll add glue to the rest. Pull these off. And we'll add glue here to the other parts. And put this in our corner here. And that'll cover up our little boo-boo. And then for our sentiment, I'm going to move these over here this time. And I'm going to move this up closer because we have a second sentiment to put down. And so for this one, we're going to put glue on the ends and some foam tape in the center. And then our warm will go here like that. I think that's what we'll do. Warm wishes to you on your special day. And I like this sentiment because it can be used for just about anything. That could be for a wedding, it could be for a birthday, a graduation, retirement, just about anything. So it's really, I think, a nice multi-occasion sentiment that you can use. And I like those because you never know when you need something special. And sometimes you create a card that, oh man, I'd love to give that as a birthday card, when you've made it later on and it says thank you. So this kind of helps. These all-purpose sentiments, I call them, make it easier. And pull these backing off here. Okay, come on. All right. And then we'll put this here. And we just want to make sure that that goes straight. And that looks about right. That looks pretty good to me. Let me hold it up some. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and press that down. And then we'll do the same thing for this wishes sentiment. We'll put, or I could actually put it in the center, I think. Yeah, I think for this one, I'm going to put this in the center, as opposed to the other one I put off to the side a little bit. But the way these sentiments align, I think having it in the center will be lovely. And it looks pretty straight. And then we'll go ahead and add this one. the last part of our sentiment. And that I will move over to the side just a wee bit and bring that down. Make sure we've got it straight there. There. And then our final thing is to put our flower center on. And I'm going to use a little gem for the very, very center of the flower. Clear some of this away and get my gems out. And we will be done. We can call this one finished here in just a second. Oh, and I did want to, this did dry, so you can see now, even though it was this purple color, this light lilac color on white card, it turns out this green color. And so that is part of the magic of the color shift cards. So let me put this in here. And I think I'll use this size again for my flower center. We can fluff those up a little if you like. And that is today's card. So I thank you so much for watching. For those that watch live, I thank you and I appreciate it. If you do like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're watching on the replay and you like it, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I will be on my blog on Wednesday, elegantsentiment.com, and I'll be back here next Thursday at 7 Eastern with another card to share. I thank you so very much for watching, and I appreciate you. I hope you craft some kindness for yourself sometime this week, and have a fantastic day. Be sure to live graciously, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.